Welcome to another episode of the True Beast Podcast, brought to you by xdog.com, where you can find the world's greatest health enhancement harness for dogs, the X-Dog Fitness Vest. Exercising your dog has never been easier or more effective than with the X-Dog Fitness Vest. So if you're looking to enhance your dog's life or level up its overall health, be sure to check out xdog.com. And we are on episode 50 today, man.
Man, big 5-0.
When you think about 50 episodes, I was looking it up. The average podcast startup doesn't hardly get past 4 episodes.
Oh, shit.
So 50 is pretty much a solid milestone when you think about it.
Yeah.
And I guess I'd have to go back to building momentum, right, on that, like, or just doing the work, you know. What's your thoughts on that? Why do you think people stop at episode 4? Because think about this, dude. A lot of people probably weren't listening, and they're not going to listen. And it takes a while. And right now we're in a competitive market. Mm-hmm. And our intentions is to help educate, influence, inspire people in our community, which happens to be dogs and entrepreneurship, business, stuff like that, building, marketing. But a lot of people just like to hear themselves fucking talk, you know?
Well, I think anything dies when there's a lack of intention.
Yeah.
So in their minds, they're like, hey, we're going to do this. But it's like, okay, so what's the long-term plan? So when you think about what it is we're trying to communicate and what it is we're trying to do as far as personal branding, all that stuff, it all ties together. And if you put on the board, hey, we got to be on YouTube. We got to be on TikTok. We got to be on Instagram. We got to be. And Gary Vee said something else I saved last night. He said 9 out of 10 people, he said, they just don't want to do the work. I got 8 million followers on Instagram. I don't want to do the work on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
But I said 3 years ago, you got to do the work.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things, again, that people get lost in the sauce because they might even get addicted to, one way of being. But in life, you have to be better.
Sure.
And better things do come along. And, this is one of those instances where if you're really doing the work, which you're doing here at X-Dog, which we're doing collectively, then it's very, I won't say easy, but it's very easy to say, you know what? We've so far had 50 opportunities to be better.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. We had 50 chances, this was episode 50, to really continue to work on our communication skills, build the community up, talk about things that matter, and improve people.
Well, one of my mentors, Andy Frisella, I didn't start catching his episodes until episode 170, 180 or some shit like that, and he had done 300 episodes on the MFCEO project. And now it's Andy's AF. Even though there are maybe 100 episodes in on there, but again, I went back and started listening to episode 1 because I found value in episode 170 and said, oh shit, he's got a lot to say. Let me go listen to all this other shit, got all these other golden nuggets. And it's pretty cool and interesting because, I'm anticipating that, we keep grinding this out. We keep doing this thing. Next thing you know, probably episode 150, we're going to start seeing that momentum.
Yeah. I mean, I concur.
Yeah. And so, when you talk about Gary Vee, right, he has 8 million followers.
Yeah.
This is another topic I kind of really want to talk about. We kind of barely touched on the other side, but yesterday something happened where a very popular dog passed away, right?
Yeah.
And there was a big controversy because I always keep telling these people, man, these followers are not your friends. And in order to build a team, you got to be able to distinguish the difference between your friends, your real friends, and your followers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, a lot of my real friends don't even fucking like or comment on any of my shit.
Yeah. But they might call and check on you.
Yes. And so the controversy was I kept seeing these fucking posts going, oh, now I know who to delete because you're criticizing somebody whose dog passed away, whose dog is a family member, is my son's best friend. And I'm like, well, what the fuck did you expect? You can't look at that as a negative opportunity. You have to look at that as a great opportunity because now you get to purge a list of individuals who you don't even need in your circle in the fucking first place. Them motherfuckers had bad intentions.
Well, a lot of times, I tell people all the time, and I've told the people this before, you got 2 hands for a reason.
Yeah.
Who are the 2 people that you can reach out and touch? And I mean, potentially physically or metaphorically speaking, that are actually, know you. And less than 1% of people actually know you. So your followers are just following.
Yeah.
Our goal is to lead them somewhere, but I'm with you 100% on, if that's an opportunity for you to see the truth.
Yeah.
Remove them jokers.
It's funny because it was like, man, I thought differently of these individuals. I thought them as them being my friends, and now I have to delete them. And it's
a very powerful word though, man.
It is, right?
So
How would you define that?
I came in one time when I was a kid and said something about my friends, and my dad literally made me grab the dictionary. and look up the word friends and associates, and I remembered at that moment
Yeah.
that all the guys at the time I thought were friends were just associates.
Yeah.
So I define friend, man, Lord have mercy, as it's kind of like the misconception of love. People think friendship's supposed to be some beautiful thing, and it's beautiful if you embrace both sides of it.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. The fact that you guys might get in fights and learn to love each other through after that fight.
Sure.
There's going to be some arguments and disagreements, and then there's going to be some great moments where you guys get to experience whatever you're experiencing. So a friend, man, it's like what's understood don't have to be explained. So when we speak, it's the same energy regardless.
Yeah, whether you've talked to each other for months.
Or years in some cases. My buddy who came our day, I hadn't seen him in 15 years.
Yeah.
He followed me and, found me again, kind of followed me or whatnot. And then he reached out and came in for 48 hours to do some work. The energy was still the same. Mm-hmm. You're the same person when we was kids, literally. Sure. And that's the type of person, those are what I call friends, the people who are consistent.
Yeah. No matter how much time in between you've seen each other.
Yeah, and those are, they're rooted in goodness.
Yeah, there's some people I can clearly identify as I can call them friends. I can hit them up anytime and ask them a favor without a question. They'll do the favor,
Oh, absolutely.
But I wouldn't ask them as a favor, like it's one of those things too, It's like, yeah, I could, if I needed some financial help, I could hit this person up. Or if I needed, like, for example, I think you can identify a friend, like, let's say one of your family members gets sick and you need assistance, like they'll be there for you, or you're on the side of the road, they'll come get you.
And those very moments are definitive moments, and make sure you pay attention to those moments.
Yeah. So let's talk about building your team. What are some of the things that you look for when it comes to those being around you? Because, there is a catch-22. They say don't hire your friends. Don't do business with your friends. But then there's some cases where it does work, or maybe is it something that where you were not friends and then through business you became friends?
Both ways, I think. So a lot of times, a lot of people don't know who they are yet. So then they have this group of friends, who are nothing like the person they want to become. Yeah. So you hire your friends, but your friends don't want to be better. They just want to be a friend. Yeah. And sometimes them being your friend ain't good for you. So they should never be your friend. Yeah. And you learn that later in life. So I do believe that friends can work together, because if it's a real friend, then they have a respect for you and they understand your expectations. And if they're integral, then they're going to do the work. Yeah. So I think it's important to align yourself with people who understand the importance of getting up every day and doing better.
Well, I got a quote the other day. It was on another podcast I was listening to from one of my mentors, and it was like, hanging out with your employees outside of the workplace and, being friends and socializing. And for the longest time, I was always blaming like, oh, I cannot be friends with my employees. I cannot hang out with them. But what he said was, he goes, no, if you can't be friends with your employees outside of the workplace, that's an identification or identifier that you have poor leadership. You don't know how to separate that. You know what I mean? And so I was like, oh, okay. That hit me right in the face, because I'm like, that he's right. I should have had definitive, clear lines and saying, listen, this is what I expect from you at work. Cool. We can hang out after work and shit like that. As long as you know that I'm calling the shots once we get in here.
But see, that's the thing. I don't even think it's about them knowing you're calling the shots. Apple, when they were building Next, and some of the top companies, Peter Thiel and Reid Hoffman, when they were building LinkedIn. Yeah. They called their top 3 friends and poked holes in something and then created LinkedIn. Next, they went on, Apple and his people, they would go on retreats together, sit and work on concepts. And I believe that there were moments of argument. They were like, let me chastise this person. And you had to sit with the boss per se, and be provoked. And provoke him so that we could really create some change. Yeah. Otherwise, it'll never happen. So I agree 100%. You can do both, but when people do, at the end of the day, respect you, definitely at the highest level, they won't try you in that way. Yeah.
And I think, you got to find your right community. Your community, you're not going to find them on Facebook unless it's a community outside of Facebook that you guys built a community together inside, as a group. Yeah. And that's what I've learned a lot too. I've got a lot of good friends that I associate with and do business with that we're Facebook friends, but we met in outside entrepreneur groups together, then became friends.
Yeah, so I mean, the keys to building a team is, for one, knowing why you need a team. Some people just like to have people around them.
Yeah.
So they want a bunch of noise. I don't like a lot of noise. I like effective noise.
Yeah.
I don't mind sitting up and talking for days as long as we're doing something, we're talking and applying.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion. But if you're one of those people who needs what they call gas nowadays,
Yeah.
somebody just to make you feel good about who you are, for that matter, who you're not, you're going to run into a couple brick walls.
Yeah.
And nothing's going to move. So finding the right team is you identifying what it is you lack in a sense.
Yeah.
And putting people in position to be better than you in whatever category that might be.
Exactly. I get yesterday I found this fucking snapping turtle again in front of my front door over here. Did I tell you that?
No.
So every time it rains, the snapping turtle will go into the truck gate, where they pull in the trucks for the warehouse, because it floods up, right? And we drain it, and we found the snapping turtle. Yesterday I came in here and I go outside, and the snapping turtle's outside. I'll show you the video.
Chilling, huh?
Just right in front of the door. Well, in our culture, Asian culture, that's good luck,
Oh,
and so yesterday I had somebody again hit me up on Instagram that I kind of was blowing off a little bit, but I did a little bit more research on them, and I've been wanting to really scale up our Amazon accounts, right?
Yeah.
And finding some true experts to help us take it to that next level, which they've been trying to court us for a long time, right? And so I finally had a meeting with them yesterday, and it's kind of crazy, man. Last year alone, their clients combined made over $350 million.
Yeah.
And then we started talking, and I was like, oh, these guys know what they're talking about. They kind of know they don't know what they're doing, and they can actually help us out. And so it took a minute, but after a while, I was like, man, I really believe we have our accounts are being audited today and tomorrow, and then we have a big meeting on Friday, which I think we're going to be able to take this shit to that next level when it comes to optimizing the listings. Obviously, we're doing videos now, creating the storefronts, and running these ads to the point where the pay-per-clicks become organic searches. And that's where we really want to get to, But again, it goes back to building the team. Me and Steven are pretty good when it comes to Amazon, but we're not exceptional.
There you go.
And so we had to go out there and find somebody, because I've been putting it out in the universe man, we need to really find some good Amazon people. And to get us over that benchmark that we've already had, and it's one thing to do 100K a month. I want to do fucking $1 million a month, from that channel.
It would be nice, but that again is saying, where can I be better?
Yeah.
And those are the questions that you got to ask yourself every day, people. What can I do better? Where can I be better? Who can I go and learn from? I love being around people who are better in whatever category. And then if there's an opportunity, I say, look, I think you'd fit well in this particular space.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they lack guidance or lack purpose and direction in that way,
Yeah.
So you give them something to be great at with their skills.
Yeah.
And then they move the needle, and then they can go off and do great things as well.
And that's what they specialize. They're experts in that category for us, and it was interesting because having that meeting, the energy, and that's why I feel like it's so important to have the right team and the people around you, because man, you can feed off that energy, man. And that energy, man, it just moves the needle for you when it comes to you taking action and doing what you need to do, But when you're kind of out there on that island by yourself, it's hard to get motivated,
Yeah, I want to be sick with success, and to be successful is to progressively be in a state of mind that you're constantly growing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that if you're listening, if there's ever been a moment where you were like, man, I'm so glad I'm better today.
Yeah.
And I imagine living that over and over and over and over again, and every day was better.
Yep.
And being better, mind you, I said this before, it isn't you necessarily feeling happy.
Yeah.
It's you learning even something about yourself.
Yeah.
Be it good or bad, and how to manage your emotions in situations that don't go the way you want them to.
Forever evolving, right?
Absolutely.
So I did this post, man, the other day on Facebook where Dr. Karen Becker talks about feeding once a day. Right.
Autophagy. Trust me, I stay up. That's why I kept harping on it. I went and listened to the doctor she spoke about in the podcast, and I only fed Ego once a day before even learning that, because I'm like, I don't think the dog needs to eat 3 times a day.
Yeah,
I just don't think so. But I also was using the ideas that of humans, and how we work and function, and those days of recovery and rest, etc. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was an interesting topic because supposedly your dog is, smarter. It lowers the risk of 9 health-related diseases or something like that, close to that, and then could potentially have your dog live longer, right? Yeah. And so you know, I didn't think nothing really of it. You know, I just kind of posted and say, yeah, this is, because I had to actually take and Triton to the vet the other day to just get a checkup. He had a little like issue with his allergy issues, and so I just wanted to double check to make sure everything was cool with him and make sure I identified it was an allergy issue. And then I weighed him, and I was like, I didn't feed him for almost 2 days, right? I was going I skipped one day and was going to feed him at night because I just was fasting him. His normal weight is around 37 to 30, maybe if I keep him heavy, 40 pounds. It's the heaviest I ever had him. I fucking threw him on a scale. He's 47 pounds.
Oh shit.
And I was like, he's 6 years old now. When he was 4 and 5, between 4 and 5, he never got over 40 pounds, you know? And remember I had told you, I was like, man, his vest is fitting different. I had to adjust it, you know? And so, but the point I was making is I did the post. I said, this is why I feed one time a day. And then once a week, I fast them from morning to evening. I'll feed him in the mornings to the next day. I'll feed him in the evening so they get that fasting period. So basically, I feed my dog 6 times a day. Well, I didn't know how much controversy that shit was going to start on that post. And it brought some awareness. Some people had some solid points. Some people feed twice a day in small increments because their dog has vomiting issues, you know? So if they eat too much. Yeah, bio. And then some people are scared of bloat, right?
Yep.
And then some people I completely disagree because of the source. And it made me realize, like, you know, we don't have to always agree on everything.
And they were sourcing you or Karen Becker?
Karen.
Oh.
So basically.
Who don't do any research. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying? It was like one of those things where it's like, there's a bunch of people that I may not agree with online, but I'm still open-minded enough.
Listen, if you guys do and go and take some time to look at Karen, you know, one of the things I love about how she even presents dog information is it's specific to her knowing what she knows and then interviewing people who do specific things and everything. So she's not even the person that's like, hey, black, white, red, orange, green. She's like, hey, this guy focused on green.
Yeah.
I want you to hear what he has to say.
Well, check this out. The people that were just disagreeing because they didn't like her either work for a veterinarian clinic.
Oh, of course.
You get what I'm saying? It was one of those things where it was like, oh, she's like the Caesar Milan of nutrition. People just don't like them because they don't like them, you know?
And it's one of those things, kind of, we talked about like an unhealthy doctor, for instance. You learn how to save lives and never saved yourself.
Yeah.
it's one of those things, like, and no disrespect to vets. I've got some great vets. But it's one of those things in the fitness. You know all this stuff and you don't apply it.
Yeah.
You're not truly trying to be better. And I'm like always trying to figure out how to apply this information. And I've watched my dogs improve because of it. The only dog I'm sometimes feed a little bit more, and he's still only one time a day. But I do switch it up, right? Feed him in the morning, and I go eat till tomorrow night.
Yeah.
You know, is Tron, and that's because he's an XL.
Yeah.
And he's fucking like, I've literally given him 4 cups of food plus a cup of chicken and fish,
yeah.
and his stomach still don't be wide.
Yeah.
You go, after all that, he should be fucking swollen like a well, and
yeah.
he's just not. So I'm like, man, he probably needs a little bit more food.
Yeah. It was just an interesting topic. I didn't think the post was gonna do what it did, and how much, you know, some people get in their feelings, man. Some people are like, I free feed, right? And you look at some of these controversial comments, and you're like one person goes, I just could not imagine. I feed my dog 3 times a day. I just could not imagine not eating only once. And you go look at the post, and you're like, I see why you could only imagine, because you probably eat 5 times a day, you know, and you don't work out, you know?
It's so funny because even yesterday, you know, everybody who knows me knows I hate fruits and vegetables with a passion.
Yeah.
I mean, like, with the fucking passion, I hate them boogers. But, you know, I've been achy, if you would, and my hands have been swollen, and I've taken the fitness thing back to a very serious level, if you would. And so in the middle of the day, I'm only eating vegetables.
Yeah.
I didn't eat vegetables at night. So I ate these vegetables before I went to the gym yesterday and did back, some deadlifts, a bunch of other stuff. And I go, dang, I'm actually pretty full after eating these vegetables, because objectively, and I'm saying all this to say just about the importance of doing research and stuff. And mind you, these are things I've known because I've put people on all type of systems of food, if you would, for a very long time. But technically, the meats we eat are third-party suppliers of the nutrients that come from the earth. So a cow eats grass. Fucking ain't nobody arguing that a gorilla ain't strong as fuck.
Yeah.
And none of them eat what? They don't eat meat.
Well, I've been really studying gut biome because I've been kind of off a little bit, you know, and guy made sense. He's like, hey, when you eat corn, right? Where's the corn usually end up? In the toilet, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you eat salad and you're like, oh shit, there's some fucking.
It can be very acidic and the body doesn't know how to break down, especially romaine lettuce often is what you see in there.
But have you ever taken a shit and found a piece of steak?
No.
You know, you never shit out a piece of steak.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense, you know, like, and so you either carry a lot of that waste and eventually gets broken down. But, you know, like the bacteria in the gut biome is really interesting because like you have all these, it's such an intricate circle and how each, you know, each bacteria plays a pivotal role and they have these little communities. They even have personalities and shit, and they can affect how you think and how you feel and how you function. And
red meat takes a lot of energy to break down, man. It just does. It's rough on you. And meat oftentimes can sit in the colon for almost upwards of 10 years. Yeah.
You know, again, bioavailability, right? When we talk about that, like what's, you know, if you take a steak and you ground it up, you already have a process in place, and you're probably going to get a little bit less stool and more of the nutrients digested if you ground it up, you know?
Yeah.
But it just depends, you know, so.
And that just goes back to people, you know, where you're seeing something on Karen or somebody's telling you it's not so. Because somebody's a professional, again, doesn't mean they know.
Yeah.
It means that they might be pointing something out that you need to go and learn about. But even like when we're sitting here right now, my body's on fire.
Yeah.
The metabolism stuff is kicked back in. And when I tell you, it feels like my ears are burning. It's a nutty feeling when your metabolism gets going. Now, the trick is the minute your metabolism stops, you're dead.
Yeah.
So you're always metabolizing something and using some form of energy because you're sitting around burns energy, right?
Sure.
But I'm telling you, man, just in the past 2 days, fire, man. My fucking top, my eyebrows feel like they're on fire, and I'm like hot as shit. And it's all because my body's doing what it's starting to burn that, get into this fat burning state again.
Yeah. And when it comes to dogs, every dog's different. You're going to have to identify the dog and feed the dog based on its individual lifestyle, you know?
Yeah, but then that goes back to, hey, did you know that a dog needs 1 gram of protein per pound?
Yeah.
And then are you actually, since you're that concerned, are you actually measuring out with that protein? And then, hey, how much fat does a dog need? Because their primary source of energy is from fats, not carbohydrates like we use. And then the carbs that they need are more fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Not fucking grains.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been again studying gut biome these past and really implement it. You know, I take a daily probiotic, but I've been trying to get my 6 servings of what do you call it? Fermented foods in. So drinking a glass of kombucha every day now.
I make it now. I make that same idea. So the one thing I've been doing is I make a lemon juice with cucumber, and I boil the skin off of a pineapple, and then I cut the pineapple and put it all in a blender. And so you're talking about cucumber, which provides a cooling, and the pineapple, and then the bromine that comes, I believe it's bromine that comes from the skin of the pineapple. You literally use that juice after it boils for 25 to 30 minutes. Yeah. And you get into this like 1 cup every day or twice a day. Yeah. And it keeps your gut health. And that's what fruit does too. Fruit's like the scrubs of our stomach. Yeah. Your friend texted me that earlier today. But I mean, it's one of the things we already know. Fiber. That's what fiber does. Fruits and vegetables.
Kimchi, sauerkraut.
Oh, man.
All that shit's good, you know?
Oh, for sure.
And so just trying to get those 6 servings a day in, you know, I can tell a huge difference in my energy levels.
Man, that's what look, people, if you really want to know about some stuff, I watched this documentary called Game Changers, and I watched it a while ago. So you go to the epithelial cells and you watch the expansion of your red blood cells and the flow of blood. Dude literally in his gym, they did the rope thing, and most people couldn't do it over 20 minutes. He recorded doing it for an hour, and after an hour, he just stopped because he had more energy than ever. Another guy did a marathon all the way to like a Boston Peak, if you would. Yeah. And we're talking like quite a couple thousand miles or something crazy, right? Yeah. He tears his quad in the middle of it. He's a vegetarian. What happens? He wraps his quad up and keeps moving. Well, for me, I understand what blood cells do. When blood is continuing to flow, it rebuilds basically. Yeah. So as long as he keeps eating the right foods and stayed moving, he actually was going to rehabilitate himself in action. It's crazy what the body can do, and that goes directly to the dog's body as well. Yeah. So you talk about how do we preserve, how do we manage, and how do we give our dogs what they need? Sure.
Yep. And with dogs too, they got a shorter digestive tract than us, a lot shorter, you know. Yeah. And so it's just completely different. But bottom line is build your team. Your followers aren't your friends. Learn how to distinguish the difference, and invest time and energy into those who are on the same mission and have similar visions and similar intentions. Right? Like
I just said that earlier this week. Some people focus on all the things that don't need focus.
Yeah.
Focus on a person who ain't focused at all.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You focus on somebody who don't give two flying fucks about you and where you trying to go.
Yeah.
Ain't ask you how your fucking dreams going. Or don't help you take no steps in that direction, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
If you ain't calling about progress, it's so easy when you really do get focused on where it is you're trying to go and what you're trying to achieve to cut the noise out, because the noise ain't calling when you progressing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I haven't heard from you. What's up? What can I do for you? What's going on?
Yeah, no shit.
Are you still not doing nothing?
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, don't invest time or energy into that. But before we go, man, I don't know if you heard, I think it was yesterday, Dave Chappelle gets attacked on stage.
Physically?
Dude comes up and tackles him. And they fucked that dude up. When I say they broke both his arms, like they had him in, like his arm was like all fucked up. You didn't see that?
The dude who attacked Dave
Chappelle
fucking
spears Dave Chappelle while he's on stage. Spears him.
Holy shit, I did not.
Yeah.
You TMZ over here.
No, I just, Brendan actually, he's like, hey, did you hear about Dave? I was like, no, I didn't hear about it. He showed me it. Dude comes in, fucking, dun, 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 spear, Next thing you know, dude's fucking leaving off in an ambulance, and they show videos of his arm. It's like fucking dangling. You're like, oh, that arm don't twist that way. You got to pull it up.
What happened? Why did they do it?
I don't know why he did it. It was a suicidal mission.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Look, Dave's a $50 million+ man.
Yeah.
You do not run up on Dave Chappelle, let alone a guy like, or him like Kevin Hart. Like these guys got Floyd Mayweather.
The security.
Floyd was like, bro, I'm not fighting you. I get paid $100 million a fight.
Yeah.
Dave gets paid 50. Oh shit. That's nuts right there.
Always for hip hop history.
Oh shit. He is fucking. Jamarcus just showed. Did somebody else run on stage too?
Probably the security, right?
Oh fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Look at him. What is he doing? That makes no sense. I gotta know why.
Yeah.
I gotta know why now. Like, why would you do that?
Did you show the video of his broken arm?
No, that part ain't in there. But that dude got swiped up quick, fast, and then
boy.
That's one of those people that I'm not gonna say that, but
say it.
If you ever watched the movie American History X, you curb
Just click
stomp
on
him
that
just to send a message, just to remind people.
Look at his arm.
Oh, it's on Twitter. Oh my God, people, you're not seeing. Oh shit! That elbow is facing the opposite.
And tomorrow
direction.
he's got to go to T-Fit 365 to do 1,000 push-ups.
Bless his heart. Not really.
Oh, speaking of that, man, I seen you. You've been online, man. You've been working out with this crew. Like, how's that going? Like, what's the history behind this?
Oh well, I'm just a person who can always press a button.
It was like 4 guys and a Mexican dude, right?
Yeah, Carlos. And we got a Native American on the camera. I mean, it's real simple. At some point in time, I've helped a lot of people preserve their quality of life and improve their movement.
Yeah.
Just through education. And these guys, some of them are personal trainers who live and die by exercise and training people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's things that they don't know.
Yeah.
And so when you start showing them the tricks and they're past the 35 mark. So what happens is you get over the looking good at some point. You're like, I just want to feel better.
Me.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, I want to still be able to walk upstairs. I don't want to have shoulder pain. I don't want to have knee pain. So
sure.
The younger group, they're like, I can do anything until they can't.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, they got to come see me anyway.
Yeah.
And so before, when I was building this thing, I was trying to find a way, as Dan said in the video, to coin it. And it's very hard to coin both education processes that don't require pills and anything else, but I could heal anybody literally in about a session through movement.
Yeah.
So basically bringing it back is going to help tie this whole thing that we're doing together. As far as Fit Bullies, T-Fit, personal branding, getting all the right people together, showcasing, this community of effort, action, and education.
Uh-huh.
And then you turn around, and then like Elon did, I'll just go buy all the hospitals and change things.
Yeah.
This is what you do. Instead of fighting the long fight I was going before, I just need the money. So I can go buy things and just force them to be better.
Where do you think this Elon Twitter thing is going to go now? You know, I mean, even Trump said hey, even if Elon lets me back on, I'm not getting back on.
He's lying.
Think he will?
That motherfucker's lying. He can't live. Look, he'd be the first nigga back. Soon as he'd be like, Trump's back on the. Give me the phone. Give me my phone right now. I need to tweet. He will tweet as fast as they say, "You've been greenlit, sir."
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, guys, this is episode 50. Hope you found some valuable golden nuggets out of this episode, man. Please like, share, man. Put us in your stories, man. We'll reshare you as well, man. Let's keep up this momentum, man. And we appreciate everything you've done for us. And as always, Team X Dog Strong.